assigning 4 ministers and 3 state ministers from the opposition parties, and involving them in the governance process at all administrative levels, because inclusion builds national consensus, and national consensus builds unity, stability, and sustainable development. Beyond this, Ethiopia has established the Political Parties Joint Council, bringing together all legally registered political parties, ruling and opposition alike, into a permanent platform for dialogue, consultation, and consensus building. It has been instrumental in fostering mutual understanding, diffusing tensions, and keeping the national interests above partisan divides. To ensure inclusivity, we have placed women's empowerment at the heart of our national agenda, not as a symbolic gesture, but as a driver of national transformation. Ethiopia's federal cabinet is now 50% women, with women leading key democratic institutions, the judiciary, and the electoral board. For us, gender parity is a non-negotiable principle of governance. Similarly, youth political participation is vital for a country's long-term development, as it brings fresh perspectives, innovative ideas, and a deeper understanding of the needs of a large demographic. Ensuring policies reflect the whole, and leadership builds inclusivity and resilience. Ethiopia exemplifies this with 49% of leadership positions across all administrative tiers held by young people, showcasing a strong commitment and strategic investment in the nation's future. Our guiding vision has also allowed us to institutionalize policy continuity beyond political cycles. We have prioritized homegrown reforms to achieve sustainable development and absolute sovereignty. Our flagship agenda, From Dependency to Productivity, aims to free millions from aid dependence and unlock the productive potential of our people. But vision alone is not enough. Consensus is critical in a diverse society like Ethiopia. Our government has taken significant steps to foster a genuine, inclusive national dialogue, working tirelessly to bridge historical divides and build a common understanding of our nation's challenges and opportunities. Our conviction is simple. Prosperity that is not shared is neither sustainable nor just. That is why we have worked to ensure that growth reaches every citizen. We have increased access to education and healthcare, launched development programs to harness untapped potential across all sectors, and implemented urban corridor development to create integrated and efficient urban connectivity while promoting economic growth. Additionally, we have designed and executed targeted homegrown social protection programs for the most vulnerable members of our community. Through the Green Legacy Initiative, we have planted over 48 billion trees, an achievement that carries economic, environmental, and symbolic weight. The lessons we have drawn are not uniquely Ethiopian, they are African lessons. We must move beyond personality-driven politics to build strong, value-based institutions. We must collaborate with rivals when the national interest demands it. And we must measure our political success not by electoral victories, but the tangible improvements we deliver to our citizens' lives. To this end, we African political parties must focus on three strategic imperatives. First, promote continuous inter-party dialogue by institutionalizing platforms where ruling and opposition parties work together on peace, not only in crisis. Second, champion a genuine youth agenda, ensuring access to education, entrepreneurship, and political participation, making politics a space young people can shape. Third, lead the green and digital transition, leapfrogging traditional development paths by harnessing technology, renewable energy, and innovation to build competitive, sustainable economies. I am optimistic about Africa's future because a new generation of leaders and citizens refuse mediocrity. They demand integrity, inclusivity, and we can exceed these expectations. The real question is whether we, as leaders, have the courage to put collective progress above narrow interests and commit to politics that unites rather than divides. History will remember not our titles, but whether we left nations stronger, societies fairer, and our continent more confident. Let us choose dialogue over division, inclusion over exclusion, and partnership over rivalry. Because if we can do that, from politics to prosperity will not just be the theme of a summit, it will be the lived reality of our people. I thank you.
Your Excellency, we thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on March 7, 2025, in Accra, President John Dramani Mahama launched the Africa Political Parties Initiative, calling for unity and cross-party collaboration toward a prosperous, integrated, and peaceful Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at the road to this very moment, which we now know is the African Political Party Summit.
Is the crisis of political leadership. While democracy has expanded across the continent over the past 3 decades, governance has not necessarily been strengthened.
Across Africa, the winds of change are rising. Our people are demanding more integrity, more inclusion, more leadership. In recent years, the continent has faced deep political unrest. Among them are military takeovers, broken promises, lost trust. But in every crisis lies an opportunity. Africa's future will be built by new systems. It will be shaped by voices that dare to challenge, to reform, to lead. Welcome to the African Political Party Summit 2025, a bold gathering of political leaders, party reformers, youth visionaries, and governance experts from across the continent. Taking place in Accra, Ghana, the summit is a turning point, not just another meeting, but a continental movement. We'll tackle the toughest challenges and celebrate our wins, from intra-party reform, gender equality, inclusion, and the future of youth in politics. We are not waiting to be included. We are leading the change. It's time for courage. Time to rebuild the social contract. Let's come together across all. Join the movement.
If we are to chart a new course for Africa, one that moves beyond instability, beyond economic stagnation, and beyond political brinksmanship, then we as political leaders must be the first to change. We must recognize that our duty is not to partisan victory alone, but to the advancement of our nations. We must reject the kind of politics that thrives on polarization, misinformation, and the deliberate obstruction of progress simply because it does not originate from our own political party. We must make a fundamental choice. Do we want to be remembered as leaders who served our people, or as politicians who merely served our political parties? This is a question we must ask ourselves.
Raise your voice, shape Africa's political future.
Ladies and gentlemen, of course, we celebrate her presence as the first, and I would like to call it the first presidential character who is a woman here for Ghana. So it's a big deal for us. And as my dear Benedicta said, she is a mother to us all. She lives and breathes the life we want, even though we know that it is not so easy. But she has really laid the path for us to believe that, yes, indeed, women's voices on this continent are needed. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to bring to the stage the one and the only Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Agyeman. Please, a resounding round of applause as she gets on stage. Please don't stop until she is on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome her warmly as she makes her keynote address to this auspicious auditorium, this auspicious room. Please, one more time, welcome the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana.
Thank you very much. Please take your seats. Your Excellency, the President of Sao Tome and Principe, Your Excellency, the Deputy Prime Minister of Ethiopia, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to refer to the protocol established and to say good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much. On behalf of the government and people of Ghana, I welcome all of you warmly to Accra. And I bring you the kindest regards from His Excellency the President of this country, John Dramani Mahama. It is an honor for Ghana to be the convener of this historic gathering, where political leaders and thinkers have met to dialogue and to chart a new course for Africa. We meet, however, as you know, and as you have expressed, at a time when Ghana is still reeling from tragedy. Barely a week ago, we lost 8 outstanding sons in a terrible military helicopter crash. The victims passed while fulfilling their duties. The greatest honor we can accord their memory is to continue the mission they embrace to build a Ghana and an Africa worth of the dreams of its people. This gathering is a defining moment because it includes delegations from more than 30 African countries. We are joined by sitting heads of state, deputy prime ministers, ministers, former presidents, veteran statesmen, and distinguished representatives from academia, civil society, and international institutions. Ghana's own democratic journey underscores the importance of our mission here. A true measure of democracy lies in peaceful elections and their aftermath, as well as the ability of rivals to become partners in the common good. Over the decades, our political parties have contested fiercely at the ballot box. But we have also collaborated on policies of national importance and worked together even in moments of crisis. Democracy must be adversarial only in the marketplace of ideas. This is because power is transient while the nation endures. And partisan victories mean very little, if any, if they are achieved at the expense of national cohesion. The theme for this summit, From Politics to Prosperity, speaks to the reality that politics, when divorced from the pursuit of well-being, becomes empty. Our people do not ask us to perform politics for its own sake. They deserve politics that translates into food security, decent jobs, functional schools, accessible health care, efficient infrastructure, security, and justice. They expect us to focus not just on the next election, but more importantly, on the next generation. Our theme challenges us to rise above narrow interest. It invites us to adopt the long view and to work together even with our strongest opponents. For the sake of policies and projects, and ideally, all of these should outlast our own political careers. Over the next 3 days, this summit will give us the opportunity to address difficult but necessary questions, including how can ruling parties and opposition ensure stability during elections and transitions, especially in fragile democracies? How can we craft national development plans that are respected by successive governments, regardless of political identity? How can we foster political cooperation across borders to address regional threats, from violent extremism to climate change, or from illicit trade to pandemics? We will not agree on everything, but if we can agree on the fundamentals that Africa's peace, unity, and well-being are non-negotiable, then we will already have taken a decisive step forward. We must envisage and work towards an Africa that, when united in vision, can defy the odds. We saw it when nations joined to create the Africa Free Trade Area, a moment, a step towards a single market of 1.4 billion people, but the agreement succeed on the strength of treaties alone. It requires the political will across party lines to harmonize policies, remove barriers, and open opportunities for trade and investment. This is why this summit is important. We are here to signal that African politics can be more than a struggle for power. It can be a framework for progress. One of the most enduring legacies of this summit will be the official adoption of the implementation framework for the African Political Parties Initiative, that is the APPI, a platform to institutionalize inter-party dialogue, build capacity, and sustain cooperation. The APPI will give our parties a permanent mechanism to exchange ideas, to resolve disputes constructively also,
collaborate